I guess, it's like the argument, like, there is no white privilege, but I see it, on a daily basis. I work not too far from here, and I see guests that are rude to my coworkers who are Hispanic, and then I walk up and I start talking to the guests, and all of a sudden they're nice to me, and I see it every day. So I guess my question is, like, when you walk, through our country every day, do you not see, people like discriminating against each other and see this problem still?
Well, you just shared a story. So here's my story, and
Okay.
it is part of why I walked away. And I
Yeah.
would say that this is maybe, if black privilege exists or non-white privilege exists, then maybe this is an example. So in 2020, I talked about it a little bit before, but most people weren't here. I was doing everything that was asked of me. The world was shut down. I stayed home. I complied with everything. I allowed a grandmother to die alone, needlessly, take her last breaths alone.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then in summer 2020, George Floyd happened, and I was told, we were all basically told implicitly and explicitly that we could go out and protest or riot on behalf of that, because riots happened in Los Angeles, where I came from.
Yes, I saw.
But we still couldn't go to work. We couldn't visit dying family. We couldn't do those things. And whenever I brought this up, because you shared a story, so I'm sharing it a story, I was called racist. And that would not have happened if I were non-white. And the thing of it is, I had a grandmother die alone.
Right.
Okay? I'm never going to get those last moments with her. I was paycheck to paycheck. I help out my elderly parents. So these people, when we're talking about, it goes back to what I said to the gentleman behind you. When we're talking about what other people experience, maybe the reality is that we just don't know. And if we're offended at the idea of black privilege, then maybe we can put ourselves in other people's shoes and understand why some people might be offended at the idea of white privilege being everywhere, because that is an example where a white person was silenced because you're not allowed to push back on the way we're behaving around COVID because you're white and you're privileged and you're buffered in some way from life suffering.